Accept no one's definition of your life. Define your life by yourself and never ever regret a day in your life, because good days give you happiness and bad days give you the experience. In all, give thanks to God and keep pushing. Welcome to Midday Show live on ECWA Television Africa with myself and my sister, Yepi. You're welcome.
Thank you, Magdalene.
So why are you happy this day? Why are you happy?
Because it's a good day.
Thank God.
We are not meant to regret whatsoever happens in our days, because the good days give us the beautiful memories, and the bad days, of course, will always give us the experience, just like you've rightly said.
And also because today is Friday.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
And also because we'll be talking about Togo.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Togo. And really, Togo is... it's actually one of the poorest country in the world. Like till date, it's one of the poorest country, but it's quite interesting because it still has some remarkable things that people are still attracted to, and at least it's recognized in the world to be still one of the world's primary producers of cocoa and coffee exporters. It's really something remarkable, even though the country is still poor and seen as one of the poorest countries in the world. But from this, you will know that, yes, at least the world is being fed with something coming from Togo.
You definitely have experience and daily activities.
Yes, so definitely there are activities going on in this country, and there is so much to look into the country in terms of looking out for development, looking out for progress, and then for the betterment of the Togolese people, actually, because these people, despite all that is surrounded by them with the challenges and everything, they still find a way around to work out things, to do what they have to do on daily basis to ensure that they earn a living. And despite all that the government actually is trying to do, I really like the fact that some countries that are still lagging behind in so many ways, their government are coming to that realization and coming to the reality that is done on them, that they should wake up and do something. Like, this is the time where they have to do something in order not for the country to totally fail. I mean, there's still room for growth, there's still room for improvement, there's still room for development, and this country is not excluded in terms of development, is to see ways in which it can improve the of life of the people in Togo, most especially for the Togolese, not to even talk of the people, some other people who had migrated or were not origins or citizens of this country, but now they are in this country because of one thing or the other, because this country is still a country that you still see people migrating to, despite the fact that it's still one of the poorest in the world. Then it means there are some untapped resources, and there are some things that still attract people or other people from other parts of the world to Togo, and that's what makes up daily life and daily activities. Because if you still have something that is attractive to people, then it means you are still important. It means that you can still do more. You still have the chance to actually explore some areas that you have not explored before.
Well, you know, it's funny actually, because some people just want to leave their place to another place because they just feel like, even if the place is not as developed as their place, they still
just
like,
it's
okay,
better.
yeah, I am leaving my country and I'm in another country. It
like,
is more
it's
like
an achievement.
it is an achievement, even if they are suffering or whatever they are facing there. It's just
true.
like, okay, I am not in my country. And you know, a king is not respected in his home. And most times we don't appreciate what we have. We would rather move to another place and then do the same suffering or more suffering than what we have in our place. But you know,
and the funny thing with this scenario, like just like you've explained, is when you are even struggling the more outside your own home country, you don't make it as loud as you used to make it when you were in your own home country. So I really don't understand the idea behind this, or the mentality actually that people we have generally on this fact that we feel we are struggling in our home country. It's better we look for greener pastures in other countries, and then when we get there we struggle like times 10 of what we were struggling, and then we are all quiet about it, and it seems like everything is moving on fine, well, everything is just there. Maybe it's just the mentality that we have.
Yes, and then also some people are migrating to Togo because they are expats, you know, and then they need all those people to be able, since the government is trying, you know, to develop the country. Some of them go there because they are expats, because they have something they can give to the country. But I hope it's not just like, you know, most times the government will say they'll bring up initiative just, you know, just for the money, for somebody to say, okay, this project I'm doing is worth how many million or billion, for them to just get, and then they will not do exactly what they have promised the people. And you know, it will still be in the record that this person tried, you know, bringing this thing, but the people were not appreciative or something like that. And you know, most times again, after giving the monies, people, the money will just go, like, it will be shared in, like, it will be shared pieces to the extent that the very project that they are supposed to use the money wouldn't go, because everybody, like, people are in the project, and then you'll be like, okay, I need to sort this person out, I will sort this person out, and at the end of the day you will see that the project itself was not achieved, and the people will still be suffering. The people will not achieve what they are supposed to achieve. Talking about projects now, like in the rural areas, because most of these people, most of the Togolese live in small villages where farming is what dominates most of their daily activities. So you will see them having farms, like a family having a whole family in the farm, because these people don't really, as parents, they don't really encourage education that much.
Yeah.
So most times you see them and their children.
For the girl child.
Definitely. So most times you see their children in the farm, and then the girl child is because they feel, okay, as a girl, you just go and get married. So why should I worry? And it's a mentality of the, you know, of African country, where you see the young people, most of the young people are not, young women are not, you know, encouraged to go to school. You hardly see a family that is saying, okay, I would really want this person to go to school. They would just want to say, okay, you are a girl, come to the farm, and when it's time for you to get married, you will get married, because even if you go to school, you will not be given any position or big position in the office, or maybe in politics or anything. So why are you going to school? They feel the parents will spend their money, and then at the end of the day, you will not use your education to do anything. And that is why most times you will see these children are being found in the farms, you know, helping their parents farm. And truly, to be honest, Togo is one of the countries that you will see child labor is like, it's a normal thing. Like, you will see children from morning till evening, they are in the farm doing one thing or the other. And if they are not in the farm, they are definitely going to go fetch water. If they're not fetching water, they are definitely cooking at home. If they're not cooking at home, you know, they have the cattle, the sheep, or, you know, some poultry to take care of. Like, it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday struggle for these children. But then it is something, it's not like it's bad for you to teach your child how to be hardworking, but sometimes you should know how the child is, and then what the child can take. But sometimes the parents don't look at what the child can take. They will just look out like on what they can achieve at so time. So the child should put the kind of energy. I don't know where the child should get the energy from. And the worst thing is that most of them don't even eat well. So the energy is not really there, and they are still sapping out of that energy that the child has, the little energy that the child has. So child labor is something they are really struggling with. And you would see that cooperatives initiative has been brought, you know, for the children in Togo to be able to go to school. And, you know, most times the parents complain, okay, even if they're going to go to school, do we have the money to sponsor them? So you see, that's why some of these cooperatives will come and say, want your child to school and you don't have the money. Okay, bring the child and be to you.
Of course, you know, at a very tender age, children in Togo already have responsibilities that they have to take care of, and that's why you see the rate of child labor is really high. And then you still see the issue of child trafficking. Like you see cases of children, there are reports that have been given that children from Burkina Faso were as being sent to Togo for child labor. And most times when you see these things, I mean, these things happen everywhere. Even in Nigeria, we see where you are people like from the cities, from the big cities, because they need nannies, they need who to take care of their homes, they go back to the village. And even some people who don't even have relatives, like maybe I have this auntie who got married and then she needs someone to help at home. I might meet you and ask you to please help me look for somebody. And you can see that at the end of the day, there's no relationship whatsoever that is joining these people together. And at the end of the day, some of these people or these children out there get maltreated and they don't even feed them well, but they give them all the work that they have to do at home, and even that physical labor that naturally they cannot, their strength cannot carry, but these are things that these children get themselves involved in.
And
so
when
these
they
are some
don't
of
do it efficiently, they
yes,
get beaten
yes,
up.
that's when the maltreatment comes in. And so you see that these cases have been reported several times. Like it is really on the high rates in Burkina Faso, in Togo, that you see people or children being trafficked from Burkina Faso to Togo just for child labor, and even cases of prostitution too. Like they've had these cases too coming up in the country, and these are some of the challenges that are really that the Togolese are faced with until date. It's really something that is of disturbance to them, and they are still trying to see ways. Just like you've mentioned, there are initiatives that the government has brought up over time to ensure that some of these things are being controlled to an extent, but they are still not controlled. Because, you know, at the end of the day, some people who are entrusted these initiatives to, who these initiatives were entrusted to, don't even have the power to manage it. They don't even have the experience, the know-how on how to go about it at the end of the day. And that's why you need external hands, experienced people, and just like you've mentioned, the experts too that still go back to this country. Is because they've seen the worries, they've seen the troubles of this country, and now they are coming in as experts to try to see ways they can work with these people, make them understand how to go about these things, how to resolve or control them to some minimal level, and then at the end of the day, from there they can begin to like extend it to other parts of the areas or hard to reach at the end of the day. And this child, it's feel society actually, because this started yesterday or it just started within an hour ago. It has this mentality. Times these things happen. Society made them like that. Society made it an orientation that this is how we are supposed to be. But I mean, growing into a digital world, and then people that we shouldn't be doing to deprive some our children. I mean, childhood is a period, like there's no time or there's no age that they should be given that opportunity to enjoy their childhood. Unlike so they don't even send them to school at a very tender age because they want them to enjoy their. It's this. You see, at the end of the day, they tend to send their children to school by age 5, which is really good too. It's actually something that shows. But then within this, at age 0, age 1 to 5, you will see that these little children already know things or some kind of physical labor that they are not supposed to be exposed to at the end of the day. And then before they start going to school now, already they are beginning to learn how to go to the farm, how to help daddy on the farm, how to help mommy in the market, how to do all of these things. But these are things that children shouldn't be doing. Of course, you have to teach your children what to do and how to do it and at what time. to do it. But at the end of the day, if you train them right, definitely they will go like that. And for the fact that society has already given this orientation or this belief that this is how children are supposed to be, and then parents also depending on their children to actually take care of some responsibilities, because at the end of the day you will see that a family is having over 10 children, a family of just a father and a mother having over 10 children, and there is no
with
money.
No means.
Yes, with no means of
children.
taking care of them, no means of providing for them, like the basic amenities that parents are supposed to give to their children, the basic needs of shelter, clothing, food. All of these things are not there. And then you see the issues of diseases too coming into play, because that's one of the aspects too that these Togolese are actually facing great challenge on, the issue of health. And these are some of the things that come up at the end of the day. And so children would want to just take responsibilities to their hands and just go out there, something doing just to help themselves and even support the family or the parents at the end of the day.
So which means at the end of the day, the parents are giving birth to these many number of children
just to relieve themselves.
Yes, because they
some
feel
duties.
okay, they are what should, be able to support them.
Yeah.
Instead of the parents giving birth to children to be able to take care of the children, support the children, and then for them to grow mentally. But no, the parents just give birth to these children because they feel okay, they will help them in the farm. And then even if they don't help them in the farm, it will get to the time that they will give them out for people, to use them as house girls, house boy, and all those things. And then there are factors also, different factors that actually makes these young people just get so vulnerable out there. Most times, because of the lack of education, they don't really know so many things. They are not exposed to education. They are not exposed to information in any way. Most of them, like some of them from the village, and most, Togo is actually almost more of the rural area. So most of these people don't even have any access to information. Most of their days are in the farm. They have been spent in the farm. Most of their times, if they're not farming, they are cooking, they are doing so many, fetching water and all those things. They don't really have access to information. So when they get to the cities, they are just exposed out there. And sometimes you will see that, maybe in the late night, these young children are being sent out to go get something. And before they get back, somebody has, raped or maybe has abused them already before coming back to the house. And sometimes when they even get back to the house, when you try to explain to your, to their, I don't know if I would say master or what, the person will be like, the person will even beat you on it. The children are what they are experiencing is just like, you're out there, you're not safe, you're in here, you're not safe, because any little mistake you do, somebody is on your case already. Talking about young age, that they are being sent out to, work. Sometimes you see somebody is not up to 10, and then the person is already in another person's house, washing, cooking, and doing all those things. And any mistake you do, you maybe putting too much salt in the food, or maybe putting too much water, you would definitely receive beating from the person that you're working with, because they will feel like, okay, you were not concentrating, you were not careful enough, and all those things. Instead of them to know that, okay, these children are actually children, they need to be taught some basic things for them to be able to work efficiently or work in the way that they would want. But no. And sometimes, even if the parents are not wicked, let me say to them, the children are the ones, the children of the people are the ones, giving them the hard times. You will see them trying to, sometimes they molest them, sometimes they harass them. And even if, the children can go to school, the children of the wealthy people can go to school, and mates are in their house trying to cook and trying to do all those things. And the children have this kind of mentality: you are not of my level, and you have to cook for me, you have to do what for me before I get back home. And when the children get back from school, there's a way they, talk to these children, maltreat those children. And already it has made them have this kind of mentality in them that they are not worth anything. So anything they face is just there. It's more like, okay, this is the way I am born to live. I don't have any worth. because I don't even, I have education. I don't have anything that I can say, okay, I can brag or stand on. So it is okay. And they just take the thing. It's more like, okay, this life they're living is just okay for them, but it is not okay. These people really need to look into education.
Yeah.
The parents, even if the government is not trying for them, the parents should try. Because the most part in this thing is the parents not even having interest in sending their children to school. You will see the children in the marketplace when they are supposed to be in the school. You will see them in the marketplace selling on their head, hawking food, hawking some kind of things. And it is more like, I didn't know the future of tomorrow. As a parent, are you not thinking that if your child goes to school, he is the person or she is the person that will help you tomorrow? And even if she is going to be a mother tomorrow, is she not supposed to have the education so that she can put it, she can transfer it to her own children? How can they have a better Togo tomorrow if these children don't go to school now? It is really a problem for these people.
Yeah, it's true. It's really a problem. And then for the fact that the world today is evolving, and you see people who never saw education as what it is are embracing education now. So Togo shouldn't be left out. I mean, Africa is a giant continent that people look up to from other parts of the world. Africa is one country that you would always run back to and you feel at home. So if we have countries like this in Africa, then we need to do something. Like, we need to rise up to that responsibility, and then maybe creating awareness and all of these things would help in this aspect. Because really, education, I know it's not just about like going to some four walls classroom to attend lecture or to listen to a teacher teach you something that is cool. At the end of the day, you getting informed and exposing yourself to some of these things is education too. Because at the end of the day, for just like you made a very valid point earlier about how these people or these children are now sent to the cities, and because they don't have that exposure, they tend to be taken advantage of at any given time, because they don't even know how the city operates. I mean, they are used to the rural areas, they are used to the simple way of life, and then all these bustle and hassles, they don't see them on a daily basis, and now they are exposed to a different society. And you know, in the cities, that's where you see different cultures, races, different people from different parts of the world, and people operate differently. I mean, from the rural areas, you're just used to your own native language, you're used to your own people, to relatives around. But in the big cities, you are seeing different people of different color even. And then at the end of the day, you have to understand how you have to go about working around these people at the end of the day. And even at the homes where these children are being exposed to or are living now, they are exposed to visitors who come in on a daily basis, and they treat them differently. So if you don't have that exposure at the end of the day, or you don't have that education, that enlightenment at the end of the day, you will fail. At the end of the day, people will just take advantage of you, and that's why you see cases of children who are being taken advantage of is really high too in the country. And Togolese are not really working towards most especially for the parents, just like you've mentioned, are not working towards seeing how they can cope these issues at the end of the day. But still, just like we've said earlier on, that there is a chance to do better, there is a chance to improve, and they still have that opportunity to actually explore and then embrace education as the years come by. And then still talking about other activities that these people engage themselves in, you know, because they are into subsistence farming and form of agriculture, and then most times the export basically is the coffee and then the cocoa. But now you see that agricultural produce within the range of the subsistence farming is basically for consumption, and so you see most of these commercial activities going on in their local markets, in the rural areas, in the cities and everywhere. any part of the world. And that's why you see most of the children too who are living in the cities that don't really go to the farms, because most times in the cities you don't see farmlands nearby where you can just go into farming, big time farming. But then you see these children now in the cities whose parents too don't expose them to education, are into commercial activities in these local markets or any big market that you find yourself in. You see them hawking, just like you've mentioned. Now these children engage themselves in these commercial activities just for them to have to meet up their needs at the end of the day, and even support their families or even their younger ones. And most times you see most of these men, or the male children rather, they expose them to all those hard labors, and you see them working in factories, working in mining areas, working in all those places that they engage themselves in hard labor, while the girl child who is not going to school at the end of the day is in the market hawking, trying to sell one or two
Some of the
things.
ladies too also work in construction sites.
Yeah.
Like doing.
Yes, and most times that's when you see that the men there exposed to some of these dangers at the end of the day. And then, you know, most times even the fact that the male child is given an opportunity to always attend school or to go to school, at the end of the day you still see that you go to Togo today and you see that a good number of out of school children did not even finish their primary school at the end of the day, because they felt me going to school a waste of time, even if I have the opportunity as a to attend school and my parents are giving me that chance to actually go and acquire knowledge. But I have
and doing some other. Even if they go to school, there is high level of unemployment in Togo. So even if they go to school, some of them they will just prefer to like go to the streets, join the bad gangs, and then just things. Feel, you know, most times these people tend to way of thinking on the negative things to and then you try to maybe sell, do all those things. At the end of the day, you know, you get something to feed yourself and feed your family. And at the end of, before you know it, you will see that these young people are involved in taking this substance. You will see they are the hardened criminals in the city. And people, they are spoiled, and they you in this kind of taking of once raping these young girls that are, and the young girls, the young people who are they are wealthy and going to be then they are left pregnant, and they are left pregnant. They will start taking care of themselves. And in fact, before they even take care of themselves, when they get back home and then they are caretaker, just the way you said, you know, and gets to find out that this person is pregnant, they will send the person back home. So what is the achievement actually in taking the child to the city? What has the child achieved? And you know, most of them, before they take the child to the city, they will promise, okay, I will take the child to school, I will do all this. But then before the taking of the school, before the taking, what happens, you know, when the child gets pregnant, instead of them to take care of the child there and then take care of her responsibilities, they would rather send the child back to the village, and you know, the life would just be like times 2 the struggle, because you struggle for yourself, and like it's a child taking care of a child. So at the end of the day, the child is struggling to take care of himself and also his her own baby. So it is really, really not nice. But when you talk about daily activities amongst the wealthy people or well-to-do people, you definitely see shopping.
Yeah.
You know, they really love going to going for shopping. And another thing again they really like doing is, you know, in Togo, you definitely see people fishing. Fishing is one of those things they do. You will see fishermen, you know. And the thing is, they have government-owned companies for fishing, and then they also have the private people who fish. But most times they have a market where they will go to sell. And after fishing, the women, you know, take care of the whole other responsibilities. And trust me, in Togo, women work more. Like, women work more. You will see them like carrying the fishes, taking them home, processing them, drying them, doing all those things before they go to the market also and sell. And after selling, you know, they come back and give the monies to the father.
They are responsible housewives.
Yes, they are. You know, but
they're not really housewives actually, because they go out there to
they
work.
definitely go out there to work, but at the end of the day, they bring back, and then the father will be like, I'm the head of the home, so, you know, I give the instructions. And you know what? Even if they don't give the money to the father, it still goes to the father, because he is going to be the one calling the shots.
Yeah.
We are buying this and you're giving the money. We are doing this and they're giving the money. But that's for the husbands who are jobless, or let me say, who are not really doing anything. But the fathers are the head of the home, and most times they are expected, you know, to be the ones to take care of the home. But in most cases, you will see that the fathers are not doing anything. The women are left. And you know how women's minds are, and especially when they have responsibilities, they would feel, okay, I have a responsibility of taking care of my family.
Yes.
So I need to do this thing for my family. Then you will see, that's when you see the woman is trying like everything she can. Most of these children being involved in child labor, is not like the whole parents in Togo really like that.
They just want
but
to
it's just
help
because
out.
they don't have any means of taking care of the family, so they just have no choice but to involve these children in whatever they are doing. But you know, sometimes that's when you would see that you go to a family and see that in all these things they do, the parents would still try to take these children to school. And sometimes you see the parents, the mother would like, okay, I don't want you to suffer. I am suffering. School. And I will do everything by myself. With the help of the dad, if the dad is responsible, you know, the dad will also help. And then at the end of the day, you will see a little bit of, you know, a good thing coming out of these people. It is really an alarming thing, though. But we really pray that these people, at the end of the day, they will, you know, realize what education is all about, and then they should really put their hands together with the government also, so that they can have different schools in Togo, like in their rural area, so that these children can go to school. Even if they are not going to have they have the whole education, they should have the basics. It is really, really important. But before we come back, before I allow you to say anything, I am sorry, we have to take a break, and then when we come back, you will continue from where I am stopping now. We are going for a break now. When we come back, we will still talk about daily activities in Togo. We are talking about daily activities based on, you know, child labor, because it involves, like, that is most of the thing you get to see in Togo, you know, children involving themselves in so many hard labor. That is their life, and we are hoping that things are going to be better for them. So we'll come back and continue from where we are stopping. Let's go for a break.
It's Worship the King 2021, and the city of Gombe is hosting you and I. Equa Television Africa invites you to join in worshiping the only King with the Evangel Arts Gombe, Palm Monday, Autan Zaki, Deborah Micah, Ibi Dave, Raymond Diaye, Penam Bande, Kontongs, Mizzy Adams, Fred Quada, Naomi Musa, Israel Daniel, Joe Flames, The Levites, Randy Mani, Tabitha Megandi, Ima Sobok, Paul Kofa, Smiling Face, AB Vocals, James Sachs, Bayila Dalaki, Gift Jeb, Equa Gospel Band off Ashaka Road, Equa Praise Band Gospel GRA, Equa Praise Band Gospel Galilee Tumfre, Gospel Band Equa OG, Dynamic Drummers. With special prayer sessions for Nigeria, Gombe State and all its top government officials, political title holders or politicians, the church, businessmen, civil servants, families, and students by the ECHO executive and the leadership of Gombe DCCs. Date for the Worship the King is Friday 15th to Saturday 16th October 2021 at Echo Good News GRA Gombe, Gombe State, Nigeria by 2 p.m. daily with a special music minister seminar and a media training on Thursday 14th October 2021 at 10 a.m. the same venue. Spend these 2 days worshiping the King and watch what happens to you next. Worship the King Gombe 2021 is brought to you by Equa TV Africa, Evangel Arts of Equa and its digital marketing platform, idins.com, supported by Gombe DCCs. The city of Gombe worships the King.
Thank you for staying tuned. We are back from the break. And of course, if you know what time it is, then you will definitely know it is almost time for Worship the King. Make a deliberate effort to attend Worship the King on the 15th and 16th of October. And actually, the media summit is on the 14th. So you can, stretch your days, just 3 days, in the presence of God, and also to have a great knowledge and impact in your life. Worship the King is something we all need to attend. It's a worship and prayer session that we all need to attend. It is once in a year, and we know it comes every year. It comes with its own flavor and and variety. I tell you, you will never regret coming for Worship the King. So make a deliberate effort to attend. And before we went for the break, I said when we get back, my beautiful sister here is going to take over from what I was saying. So you're back.
Yeah, we are back. And then just a little more on Worship the King. The multimedia training is actually something that I feel is a special package actually with coming with Worship the King this year. And I believe it's an opportunity for most, especially the youths in the northern parts of Nigeria to take advantage of. It is open to everybody, everywhere you are. If you have the chance, please make it a date. And even if you don't have a chance, try to create one. I mean, we have our time and we manage our time by ourselves, so we can create that time to actually be a part of this life-changing opportunity actually. And then for the fact that we have to come together and worship the King, it has always been an experience of glory, an experience of power, an experience of establishment. I mean, we are raising a standard against the evil forces on our land and in the kingdom of God here on earth. So really, the Worship the King concert, it's something that you shouldn't miss. And of course, the multimedia training that would take place before the 2 days for the Worship the King. It's also an opportunity for you to acquire a skill and for you to even gain more knowledge, most especially for people who are into media and all that. This is a chance for you to take part. And registration is just 1,000 naira only, and you don't have to stress yourself about registration processes because the registration will be at the venue of it's in Gombe. So registration will start by 8 a.m. the events and training proper will start by 10 a.m. And that's it for Worship the King. Then going back to Togo, I mean, we've not yet touched down Nigeria, but we have to give them back what is coming up in Nigeria.
We have to represent ourselves wherever we go.
Of course, wherever we go, we are patriotic citizens.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then talking about daily life in Togo, you know, the Togolese actually have a mixed feelings of mixed activities actually, and then despite all the challenges, I mean, these people go about their daily activities, and of course it gets to a time where they have to eat, because no matter how you want to try, no matter how you do it or you try and fail, at the end of the day you have to eat in order to survive, even though man must not live by bread alone, but at least we have to eat food in order for us to maintain a healthy body system at the end of the day. And it's not just about eating food, actually. Eating right too is another thing that we always have to look out for, even though that's another challenge too that the Togolese are facing in daily life. But you know, trust me, these people always create time to eat, and you know, they usually have 2 or 3 meals per day, and then the meals are always a hot spicy sauce which is served at midday or the evening meals. And then they also consist of protein, the fish, because they are into fishing, and fishing is more like a big time thing for them, so it's always included in their meals. At least these people try to eat protein. I know it's because they have it, and so they will eat it as well. They will also have beans also included in some of their meals at the end of the day, because eating protein too would help you, rather than just eating food. You're just eating carbohydrate. I mean, Africans, we are known with eating carbohydrates on a daily basis. Like, we consume a good amount of carbohydrate on a daily basis. But you know, the Togolese too would always add the fishes, the goat, or other meats in their meals at the end of the day. But you know, trust me, it will always be for the people, the wealthy people, or people who have access to some of these things, because most of the people in the rural areas who are into fishing would just do it for the commercial purposes. At the end of the day, they don't even eat it. Like, if they would even eat the fish, is when they've already selected the big ones, like just to sell and fetch them some money at the end of the day. And then the tiny ones who are not even more matured are the ones that they eat at the end of the day, because they would want to just sell everything just to get money for some little needs that are there in the home. But you know, food is actually part of daily activities too that these people would always engage themselves in. I mean, when it's also an activity, you engage yourself in a physical of trying to eat, like fetching, eating, and all those things. These are things that you do, and it's also an activity on its own. So this is how they go about the food that they eat on daily basis in Togo.
Definitely. And when you still talk about other daily activities, you have to talk about touring the country.
Yeah.
You know, some people love traveling to other states, or, you know, people traveling to the country for them to explore, like come and then get informed about some things, because they really appreciate their arts also there. So you will see like people going to the arts sites or places for them to just go and have an experience there, and then to know about the culture of those people, or to know about maybe there was an historic event that has happened. You definitely will go there and see some kind of images there that are being kept there for people to come and see, and then go back, you know, go back to the memory lane, like when the thing happened and all that. And you will see people there who will tell you, and you will see people who will give you all the information you need. Especially there are old people there who, you know, when you go there, they also have experience, and then they've worked there for a long time for them to know everything, and almost like everything about the country, and then what happened on that day. You know, they will get to give you all the information. And then another thing you will see these people doing on a daily basis is, you know, them traveling to fishing villages. It's actually fun, because it's not all parts in Togo that you see people fishing. So you see people traveling from another state to another state, you know, just for them to be able to experience how these people fish. And they have maybe the way they are fishing, maybe they have different methods of fishing. They will go there and see. And the schools also take their young people, their students to those fishing villages for them to go, for excursion, for them to go and then see how these people fish, or for them to see and then learn how these people fish, especially those people who are like, especially when it's agriculture, they tend to involve these young people in agricultural activities. If they are not going to the farm, they will go to the fishing sites for them to be able to know one or two things. And at the end of the day, you will see them, they are growing not to just become educated in maybe for them to go and work in offices, but they are now educated better, in a better way of, even if they want to be farmers, they would know a better way of doing it. Because right now in Togo, you will see, it is almost everywhere, right? You will see like people who are more knowledgeable in the farm, this thing, they are not struggling. They have better methods of doing of fishing, and they have better method of farming. So they don't need to experience the hard labor, because they know how to go about it. And before they will even get there, they would train themselves in a way that, okay, they know when they finish the school, they can be able to afford some things, and then themselves in farming in a better way of. And you will see that these people are like, farming is really, really a rich business for people. Like, I can, even in Nigeria now, you can see that everybody is going back to the farm now, even though there are so many things happening in the farm. But you see people going back to the farm now so that they can be able, to feed themselves and also feed the nation, because food is a problem right now, because people need to be fed. People need food, but the attacks and everything is like, it's more like a problem now. So it is more like, okay, we need food in our nation, and everybody is going back to the farm for them to be able to feed themselves and then to feed their families. I mean, what better thing can happen actually to someone if the person does not have food to eat? How can you, and you know how it like messes up someone's mind when you don't have food to eat. You don't have the strength to do anything. You just feel like, okay, the whole world is crashing already on you because you don't have what to eat. And you see the young people, the children there who would wake up from morning till almost afternoon without anything to eat, and they're still struggling, working in the farm or working in the whatever thing they are
if
doing.
hunger can kill a person, then food is a big deal, and it should
Definitely
always be
it
a
is.
big deal. And then, just like I mentioned earlier, most times it, this issue of malnutrition is not really because these people don't even know how to take care of themselves or how to eat well, but it's because this is the available thing you have at hand. And so you see that these people eat the same food over and over again, every day in a month, every month in a year, and that's how they go about it. So that's why you see the issue of malnutrition now coming in at the end of the day, because even the means that they have to like provide food for the family, they would also want to take a good portion of it to the market, because they want to get money for maybe health challenges or maybe even education for some of the families who would want their children to be educated. So at the end of the day, all of these things are mixed up, and then you see issue of malnutrition ravaging around Togo as a nation, and the Togolese suffer from this virus of hunger, which is actually killing children, most especially the children at the end of the day. And then another health challenge actually is the high rates of HIV and AIDS in the country. And then, because of how some activities of sexual harassment go on a daily basis in the country, these people just accidentally get contracted at the end of the day, and you don't even know that you're living with the disease at the end of the day, and before you know it, it's already killing your system, and before you realize it, you're gone already, because you don't even have the means to protect and take care of yourself, or even get to meet with facilities that provides you with the medications at the end of the day. So these are really some of the challenges that the Togolese are faced with, and that the government is trying to come up with programs that would actually help in these aspects of life. It's really another thing that is encouraging for the people, but it's left for the people now also to embrace these initiatives that the government is trying to bring up at the end of the day. And then other activities too that actually take part of some daily activities in the country is the industrial layouts. Like these people also have some industries that are located there in the country. Like they also have a small oil refinery that is still functional. I mean, this is a country that is suffering, like it's recognized as one of the poorest, but it has an existing functional oil refinery. So it's another thing to look out for. And then like the government investing in this aspect of life, it's also another thing that will boost the economy of the country, and it will also encourage employment actually to the people. And then other agricultural activities includes the animal husbandry, and then you also see activities in communications and information technology. These are some of the growing industries actually in the country, because today in Africa, like Togo, in West Africa rather, Togo is one of the countries that has a highest number of email users, like people who send emails on a daily basis. They use this form of communication very well, and then internet access too is at a growing rate in the country. So you can see this country is actually not all bad, because you can actually get some things. But I believe these are some of the ways, like using information technology will actually bring some form of exposure to these people at the end of the day, because they will be exposed internationally to they will experience other parts of the world actually just by using their phones and having access to internet. I mean, we still have some countries in Europe, in America, where they don't even have good internet connection, so they don't even get to access the internet on a daily basis. But Togo is one of those countries that has actually embraced this information technology industry, and it's a growing industry actually that is beginning to like bring about some form of employment at the end of the day.
No matter what it is, no matter how bad things are, at the end of the day, you will definitely see something good out of it. And that is what the Togolese are going through. But in whatever situation, you could see that they also have another good thing that is coming out of the country. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you, Yapi, for all that you have told them, and I'm sure they have learned a lot today. And this is the time we have to say bye-bye. And remember to always stay grateful, because when you're grateful, it attracts more blessings. So we'll say bye-bye for now. Stay blessed.